Welcome to Poland Daily News with me, Aleksander Wierzejski. Poland, Latvia and Lithuania will completely close their borders with Belarus if a critical incident occurs. Polish Interior Minister Mariusz Kamiński said today. Such measures will be taken regardless of whether it is at the Polish or Lithuanian border, Kamiński said. However, he did not state what exactly would be defined as a critical incident. EU and NATO members Latvia, Lithuania and Poland, which share the border with Belarus, have become increasingly concerned about border security since hundreds of battle-hardened Russian Wagner mercenaries arrived in Belarus at the invitation of President Alexander Lukashenko. The countries have seen an increase in the number of mainly Middle Eastern and African migrants attempting to cross the border in recent months and accuse Belarus of facilitating their passage, a charge Minsk denies. Two things are necessary to stabilize the situation on our border with Belarus. We demand from authorities in Minsk that the Wagner Group leave the territory of Belarus immediately and that the illegal migrants gathered at the border by Belarusian authorities leave the border area immediately and are sent back to their countries of origin. If there is a critical incident, whether on Polish, Lithuanian or Latvian border, we will retaliate immediately. All border crossings that are currently open will be closed. Lithuanian Interior Minister Agne Bilotaitė told the media that there were two criteria that could lead to a border closure. First, an armed incident on the border of one of the three countries. The incident would have to pose a serious threat to national security, she said. The other criterion is a mass breakthrough of migrants across the border of one of the states. Bilotaitė said Lithuania's interior minister would propose to the government that the two of the country's four remaining border crossings with Belarus be closed, a move, she said, would reduce smuggling and concentrate more officers at the remaining crossings. On August 23rd, a plane carrying Prigozhin and his right-hand man Dmitry Yudkin crashed in the Russia's Tver region. They were finally declared dead 4 days later. Meanwhile, Lithuania and Poland say little has changed. Polish Deputy Interior Minister Maciej Wąsik said that there could be some 3,000 to 5,000 Wagner mercenaries in Belarus, and that reports that they are allegedly want to leave the country are not true. The number of deaths caused by a Legionella thermophilia outbreak in the southeastern city of Rzeszów has risen to 11, the state provincial sanitary inspectorate said on Monday. The 11, health officials said, were all suffering from other illnesses. At the same time, the number of people hospitalized in Rzeszów and neighboring towns due to the outbreak rose to 144. Two people were also hospitalized with Legionella in the western town of Ostrów Wielkopolski, while the State Health Inspectorate said one person was infected in the eastern province of Lublin and one in the southeastern region of Małopolska. On Monday, the Health Ministry wrote that the most likely source of infection is the municipal water supply system, which is confirmed by the first test results and water samples taken on August 18th. Adam Sidor, the provincial health inspector, told a press conference that 4 of the 9 samples were contaminated with Legionella. 2 samples were at high level of more than 2,300 colony-forming units, the level at which there is a risk of infection just by using the shower, Sidor said, adding that 1 sample was contaminated with bacteria at a moderate level and 1 colony-forming units were confirmed. How the bacteria got into the water is still being investigated. Most of the cases involve elderly people who are not very mobile and have not used the city's infrastructure, have not been to shopping malls or hypermarkets, and have not been near the city fountains. They also don't have air conditioning in their homes. Legionella cannot be contracted from people or by drinking water containing the bacteria. Infection occurs when someone inhales drops of contaminated water. Cases of unauthorized stopping of railway traffic have already been recorded in 4 provinces: Zachodniopomorskie, Pomorskie, Podlaskie and Dolnośląskie. Yesterday in Białystok, police and officers of the Agency of Internal Security detained 2 suspects. Telewizja Republika's Konrad Chmiola has more. Transmitters and receivers transmitting a radio signal were secured at the scene. This was used by the suspects to transmit the radio stop signal, which is used to stop the train immediately in case of an emergency. The case is being investigated by the National Public Prosecutor's Office, which has so far declined to comment on the case, citing the need to protect the ongoing investigation. The Internal Security Agency is also involved in the investigation. The work of the International Security Agency does not end with these arrests. If this series of incidents is a part of by foreign intelligence services as part of a hybrid operation against a Polish state, we need to find out. Events occurred in 4 provinces. In West Pomerania, more than 20 trains had delays on Friday. On Saturday, 3 trains did not arrive on time in Pomorskie, while on Sunday, a total of 7 passenger trains and 2 freight trains were stopped in Podlaskie and Lower Silesia. On Friday, in the vicinity of Szczecin, the Russian anthem and the excerpt of Vladimir Putin's speech were aired alongside the stop signal. Such hybrid activities have been going for 3 years, whether on the border in the form of leaflets or recruiting people to cooperate. The Russians are well aware that if it were not for the Polish law and justice government, they would already be in control of Ukraine. In July, the Internal Security Service arrested 15 people for allegedly spying for Russian military intelligence. The detainees were Belarusian, Russian and Ukrainian citizens who planned to blow up trains carrying weapons and humanitarian aid to Ukraine, according to the editors of Gazeta Polska. It was an operation that the American media described as the largest operation recently uncovered against a NATO member and carried out by the Russian Federation. The scale of the operation revealed shows the determination and activity of the Russian services, and the dismantling of this network shows the effectiveness of the Polish services. Rail transport is critical infrastructure and part of our country's defense system. The situation on the railways is now stable, Magdalena Janus, a representative of Polskie Linie Kolejowe, said today. Over 3,400 passenger trains left the network by 3 p.m. Passengers' safety is guaranteed. The services in charge of running the trains are constantly monitoring the safety of the trains. In case of incidents affecting the running of trains, the technical services take measures to eliminate them as soon as possible. In addition, the Polish State Railways has set up a special team to monitor the situation on an ongoing basis. The team will oversee the safe and efficient organization of train traffic. Ukrainian troops have reportedly liberated the southeastern settlement of Robotyne and are trying to push further south in their counteroffensive against Russian forces. Ukraine's defense minister posted a video on social media showing soldiers describing the liberation and raising the flag in the settlement. Ukraine's capture of Robotyne is one of its most significant achievements since its counteroffensive began more than 2 months ago. Ukraine's progress has been slower than expected, and its troops have come up against complex Russian defenses. Both sides are digging deep into their reserves to put up a good fight in the south, according to Forbes. Ukraine recently sent its mighty 82nd Air Assault Brigade into battle in Robotyne, which helped it make its breakthrough. First, we conducted a night operation. We approached discreetly, both for artillery. And the Kacapy, who were in observation posts, we entered the building and cleared it. However, because it wasn't bright enough and because our night vision equipment doesn't allow us to effectively monitor the entire building, there weren't any booby traps. You know, this area is heavily mined, so we didn't want to risk the lives and health of our personnel. That's why we hung flag over the main entrance on the ground floor. Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief, the village of Robotyne in the Zaporizhia region has been liberated by the 47th Mechanized Brigade and adjacent units. The blue-yellow flag is flying in every Ukrainian village. Glory to Ukraine. Glory to the heroes. That's it for now. We will be back tomorrow at the same time.